issues, and tissue. If we can think it, we can discuss it. All right, you're welcome once again. This is Audio Gist, and of course, like I told you, I'll be coming around, getting into your faces, once in a while. Well, it's freestyle, like we all know, so, all the way from Benin City, live here in the Edo State. My name is Nabisi Akbaida, and I have some very, prolific and fantastic professionals. In fact, senior colleagues, like we need to come, for anything. But I was privileged to catch them at, one corner, as they've been, right? And today we'll be looking at Press Freedom, and I have to my left here Ozoroba Aliu. He's of the Vanguard newspaper. Bros, how you doing?
I greet everybody.
And to my right is we call him Okusu. That's Suyi Ayodele of Nigerian Tribune.
The only man of God in the house, to the peace of the Lord be upon everyone.
I feel it. All right, yeah, straight to the point. We're looking at press freedom today. What is press freedom actually? Because we've had this issue, and it looks like people think that the journalists don't know what they're doing, or we really need some definition. I think it's best we are telling our stories, and that's the essence of this interview. What is the challenge we're having? We should begin with press freedom. Who's going to answer that? What is press freedom?
Well, theoretically, press freedom has to do with the press, the media, the journalists having the unhindered, access or unhindered power to do his or her work in terms of reporting news, in terms of breaking news, in terms of writing whatever it feels right. That's the theory of press freedom. There should not be any obstacle as the journalist goes about doing his job. There should not be, influences or trying to divert his attention or influence, what he or she wants to write. That's what press freedom is theoretically. Okay. But practically, I don't know if that is actually
even the theoretical definition.
Yes, you can expand it a bit in your
theoretical definition of press freedom is a little bit subjective. Because when you talk about freedom, you are talking about ability, the totality of something to exist without any encumbrance, no impediment, no control. But can you just have an absolute press freedom? No. If you do that, you will not have irresponsible press, especially in this era, in this age of media, social media. The definition of, that's why I said the definition of press media it should be very, very subjective. If you give the media as it is today, that unhindered or fertile access to information and ability to discharge their duties and responsibility, you will suffer some level of abuses that you will not be able to control, especially with the coming of the internet, the social media and everything. As a matter of fact, the social media has bastardized that concept of press freedom. Whereas what it entails, like Aliu just divide this ability, like you are a media practitioner, you should be able to do this job without anybody influencing you, without anybody controlling you, without anybody dictating the pace, without anybody giving you the narrative of what you are supposed to go. And that is when you are doing it with absolute truth, with absolute commitment to that which is right, which is truthful, which is verifiable, which you can defend. That nowadays what you mentioned the issue of breaking news now, and that is exactly what is following the ocean. Everywhere have you just recently we had about breaking news about somebody's death. Somebody that is alive, eating pounded yam in his room with his wife and children, and everybody is singing this thing. And then on the social media say, Pia is dead. There was a breaking news that the former governor of Anambra, immediate past governor of Anambra State, died, only for the man to surface where he was feeling go for, shilling out to something. So what we are saying is that yes, the media, the press should be free. The press should be able to do its job without any hindrance. But at the same time, the media should also have it at the back of his mind, the responsibility to society. One bad news, one wrong news can set the community aflame. And you now discover that at the end of the day, it is not even true. So we need to balance it.
Okay, that takes us to media ownership. Now, I want us to restrict our discussion to the traditional media, right? talking about broadcast and print. Let's leave the social media for now. Though I know it's important because I know that most people, when they want to fact check, they don't go to social media to fact check. They wait on the traditional broadcast, right? So now looking at media ownership from what you have said, don't you think it's ideal to have people who are professionals, who really know what it means to, have news, to be owners of media?
Yeah, ideally that is how it should be. But how many media practitioners have the capacity to set up a media organization, even as small as a community newspaper? How many media practitioners? You need money, you need resources, you need space. You are going to have physical structure to say this is where this particular establishment is existing from. You need to hire, reporters, editors, marketers. So how many journalists or practicing media persons have the capacity to do that? That is where you have the challenge of ownership of media houses, where today we can say not less than 80% of media houses in Nigeria are owned by non-media practitioners, and there is no way and the owner of a business will want anything that will affect his or her business. For instance, I always use an example. When Cecilia Ibu, the former MD of Oceanic Bank, was jailed, was convicted and jailed, it was front pages of virtually every national newspaper except The Guardian. Why? Because the owner of The Guardian is the younger brother to her husband. But if the owner of The Guardian is a professional, for instance, there's a way he would monitor. Of course, he can cut it down and put it there, because it is a public domain. I mean, it was in the public that Cecilia Ibu had been jailed. He's going to serve her term in the prison. So why stop the news? So even if you report it or not, people already know that he's going to serve her term in the jail. So if the owner of The Guardian was a practical media practitioner, he will allow that story to go because it's already in the public domain. That's the challenge of media ownership, where you see owners telling you what to do. Even from the ownership, even to your immediate editors. I did a report in the last administration that an editor called me and said, "Aliu, you be my guy, but this your report, we no go use them." I was disappointed. I was angry. In fact, I was discouraged. But that was not the first time it happened, and eventually he did not use the story. I had another experience when I was in The Guardian. I did the story, fantastic story that people celebrate. Somebody called me, my editor called me. He said, "Is that the only man in the door that I should be writing about?" He said, "Are there any other issues? Why are you?" He said, I learned to even paid. Meanwhile, I just sat down and I analyzed. I looked at the political development in Edo State and I wrote my report. So, in fact, for the next 3 months after that incident, I didn't write any political story. I was debased, I was discouraged, I was demoralized. My editor said, "Do this." I said, "Okay, what do you want me to do again?" I did what I felt was the best for the state, and you said I was paid. Okay, if you want me to do anything, guide me, tell me which and which and which. So the ownership of the media has really affected press freedom, because most of the owners are not practitioners, and then the businessmen who are the owners want to protect their business and their political interest. So it's a big challenge.
I think I have even a slightly different view.
Yes, but you include now. Let's go to what you call news. Let's also expand it to that.
Even if I say slightly different, a media practitioner, a professional media practitioner owning a media house doesn't guarantee media freedom, press freedom. Okay. And I will tell you why. Especially the traditional media, the print and the broadcast. Now you are looking at the business aspect of it, the financial or business aspect of journalism, of media, of broadcasting. With the kind of situation we are, economic and political situation, it will be very difficult for that professional to be professional to the core. Your business needs to survive. Aliu cited cases in the Vanguard and about this report and everything. If your report you are writing is against the financial health of that organization, you just have to go and establish your own newspaper and publish it. Guardian needs to take advantage. Vanguard needs to take advantage. And then for instance, I work in a corporate organization where in a year will do over 3 billion naira adverts. You gave a newspaper an advert of about 68 million naira, and one reporter just wrote a report about where will you publish it? As you are dropping it, it's not that it's published, that you even have the guts to write the report like that. You go home, because the newspaper just have to survive. You see adverts, you take adverts from government circles, from businessmen and the rest, who one way or the other we all believe have one thing shady or the other. But you can, somebody who gave you 10 pages of advert at, let's say, 800,000, that's 8 million naira. How many newspapers do you want to sell before you can make that 8 million? Then a reporter is out there, is doing investigative journalism because he can write very well. I mean, he writes the story. They will kill it, and that's exactly what Aliu suffered in those two locations. It's not that the editors or the leadership of the newspaper, they don't believe in the story, but they are looking at the business aspect. And that is why the issue of press freedom, vis-a-vis ownership, is very, very. For instance, I work in an organization, Nigerian Tribune. I would be completely out of my mind to just go and sit down and begin to write anything negative about the interest of the owners. It's not done anywhere. Now look at it. Check the newspapers. You even a broadcaster in the media, they come into it. Award. Oh, governor of the year, personality of the year. The governor you gave, somebody you gave governor of the year, he paid for it. You should know that. He paid for it as a governor of the year 2025. Then the same governor, there's a report there that Technological Fund in the city as a business. It's an organization. Somebody just named governor of the year. So this is where the issue. You need to balance it.
Okay, but is this applicable around the world, or only Nigeria here? They have
even in the advanced country, even in advanced country, go and check it. Who is the owner of CNN? How many stories have CNN broadcast about the ownership? Even BBC, that is government. Go to BBC now, go and tell me what they will go to write broadcast about Buckingham Palace. There's nowhere you have an absolute freedom. The only thing you can have is like maybe if you place it on the scale of 100, you can have 65 against 35. And let me tell you this, and that is the truth, you can go and verify. The Nigerian media is freer than any other media. We write anything here, we publish anything here, we say anything here about our government. In other countries, they censor it. They ask you questions. There are certain stories that you cannot even just run without running it through the security agencies. That is here in Nigeria, we just say, oh, Buruta, a former chief of a defense staff. Then we just slammed it. Boko Haram killed that. You can, how many times have you tuned to your CNN now and see that, okay, what do you call it? Islamic, I don't want to say jihadists or whatever, attack them. Are you telling me that it doesn't happen? They kill them. They censor it. Nigerian press is even free because we say a lot of things. Yes, we know that one way or the other, you just have to balance, especially when it touches the interest. I'll go and check it. The ownership of all the media houses, be it print, be it electronics. Who are the owners? What is the affiliation to all these political organizations and parties? It comes in. We are on AIT. God bless the soul of the founder, the owner of AIT and everything. AIT, when the Dr. was alive, will not run anything against PDP interests. Who is that editor? Who is that? What? Now you, I mean, if you are going to run it, you just have to be very conscious, and that is where the freedom. I should be able, as a journalist, you're able to sit down, write my stories without writing the interest of anybody into it. For instance, I write a column. I don't want to sit down and begin to think, if I pick this topic, who is it going to affect or not? That is where, so the freedom doesn't even mean that you have to be accused, you have to be uncalled, you have to be, nobody have to speak to you. We have to, you know that journalists today are unconsciously doing censorship. Because like it now, Aliu now having suffered that kind of shock on true closure, before he will write stories like that, he will not be thinking, will my editor like this? We don't know the business, and that is where the freedom.
Issues and tissue. If we can think it, we can discuss it. Okay, something happened recently in Edo State, over this issue of slap or no slap, right? There was a slapper and a slappy, and all of that. And we found out that everybody involved was from the same sector, right? The government sector. How would they have handled that? Now looking at the position the NUJ took, despite the fact that NUJ too, the chairman is also from that sector, as the case may be. What would have been your best?
No, as far as the issue of being slapped or not being slapped is concerned, the fact remains that the managers of the media house in government house did not handle that situation very well.
Okay.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have come out to the public.
Okay, you're saying
because the media, the reporter, the media, the journalists in that event, even the slapper and all of that, they're all government appointees or employees. So it was possible for the media managers of the government to have ensured that thing did not come, because there was no external, when I mean external now, outside media. There was no journalist in that place who was not an employee of the government. If those of us independent had gone there, was okay, we can take this, this report out. So that was the first error in that issue. They shouldn't have allowed it to come out by it's a matter of appeasement. The media managers know the reporter, they know the cameraman, they know the so-called government, they know government, that they are all within the same cycle. So they should have handled it at that level. And after coming out, you should have expected the NUJ to do otherwise, because we must protect our own. That's why virtually all of us here wrote that report that a colleague, a member of the NUJ, had been assaulted by somebody who's supposed to be an appointee of government in government house in a government sponsored event, because it was an event sponsored by the government, empowerment for physically challenged people. So that's the first thing. Now coming out, we reported that such a thing happened, and then 24 hours after, the same person came to say I'm sorry, even though it did not happen the way it was reported. It was not exactly what it said, but no vessel, no happening. So what are we expected to go ahead and say we must kill him or must kill the person? Because for me that was my own argument. Yes, we are human beings. Yes, he has infringed our right, but if the person now say I'm sorry, what else do you want also? Okay, we should now say no. Even if you are saying I'm sorry, police must prosecute him. He must go to jail. He must be punished. So for me, that was how I saw the NUJ taking a balanced situation. Yes, when it was time for us to shout, we shouted. We even called for the guys around. They will now call the press conference that we're going to take it further. In between when the announcement came and when the time for the press conference came, there were meetings. So for me, it went the way ordinarily that's the way it should go. Because you now look as if you want to kill the fly with the sledgehammer. If you now insist, because if we insist, definitely that guy will be prosecuted. Definitely that guy will go in for it. The woman in question is a married woman, and in this age of gender equality, feminism and all that, violence against gender and all those stuff, he will go in for it. But what will you now say morally looking at it? The man said I'm sorry, but maybe so it be. What else do you want? So that is my own take on that matter. Yes, it came out. They should have stopped it from coming out, but it came out and we reported the way it should be reported. And then the man came and said he's sorry. Then let's go and move on.
Okay, in this the whole scenario, don't you think that the journalist is the endangered species in this whole matter?
Of course, we have always been. The endangered species now.
The journalist is an endangered species all over the world. It's not peculiar to Nigeria. Like Aliu said, I think it is about crisis management on the part of the media camp of the government house. And if you don't want to delve into the area of public relations and the rest, I think the media, instead of that's the media department of the government or the governor, should have been more careful in handling that matter. Their primary principal is the governor. The man involved in this issue of slapping or no slapping is a non-state actor. Yeah. So two things could have happened. Like Aliu said, one, immediately it happened, if you know that you are going to protect the man who committed the offense, your first thing will have been to ensure that that news didn't get out of the government circle. It happened in the government house, it happened to a government employee, it happened in a government organized event. You have total absolute control of that environment. You couldn't do that. The thing went out. Now when it went out, immediately it became a public issue. The media department of the government house should have gone back to its to the drawing board. I know that first their loyalty protection is for the government. and then this other guy is a dispensable material as far as public relations and media crisis is concerned. You didn't do that. Now the NUJ on its own, initially the first step the NUJ took is what a reasonable union should do in that circumstance, and we must give it to the leadership of Edo State NUJ. I think the only place I will blame them is when the so-called aggressor now, the man came to apologize. The apology is not to NUJ. The apology should have been directly first to that woman. Like you pointed out, she's not just a lady. You know, she's not just a lady. She's a married woman, somebody's wife. So what did you do? The woman would have been there. Okay, this is the woman you slapped. Can you please tender apologies? That is where the problem. But that one is neither here nor there. Like you said, where anybody can do anything wrong and everything. But it's the learning process for every one of us. What has the state government learned in this? To ensure that in any event that they have like that, non-state actors are not allowed to. Because I was asking, we were asking questions. There was a rowdy situation. The cameraman was trying to capture that one, and this guy came from nowhere. Who are you in the first? Who are you? Who invited you?
But in fairness, so that at least let it be seen that we're trying to have a balanced discussion here, because he was called, you know.
What to do what?
No, he was called on
as
phone.
A policeman.
No, on phone. A reporter called him. And he said he didn't. There was no slap.
Oh, forget about it. Forget about
so,
it. The guy they slapped.
There was a verbal and physical altercation.
We don't want to take this further because the issue have been said to that. The lady went to hospital. They referred the lady from the private hospital to UBTH. Yeah, it's not slap. Slap the girl and slam the eye against what do they call it? There's multiple times and everything. But we don't need to go into all that. The most important thing is that in the first instance, the guy who slapped had no business in that arena. Even if you were there as a party supporter and everything, you are not the one who organized that event. You are not even handicapped in any way.
Yeah.
So then you are not the one. Okay, call the police to chase away the cameraman and ask what? That's the question you need to ask. And that is why the media, journalists or media aides and everything, you must take ownership of your environment. Take ownership of your event and everything. That one, that is just because that one physically has. But in this country, journalists have disappeared now.
Yeah.
This day, deputy editor went to Benin the other time, about how many years ago now. It's like, up to today, we didn't know what killed him. No autopsy, no nothing. What do you call this guy? During Abacha, this thing.
Bagauda Kato. The news correspondent in Kaduna.
The legal issue is there. A lot of journalists have been beaten up by police and the rest now. They harass us daily in the course of, even when you are carrying your camera, you are doing it. In the first instance. If you are a reporter, you see somebody wearing the, what do you call it, the flex jacket of AIT or ITV or the rest. Why are you pushing it? If you are asking a cameraman not to record, what will he be doing? But somebody walk up to you and say you cannot put up your tape, you cannot. What else do you want to do?
We have all been victims of all these attacks. Even personally, I've suffered that victim not less than 5 times in Edo, not less than 5 times, several times. At a point, I particularly now have to take notice of a particular security man. And whenever I say I'll go meet and say, Oga, we won't work for you again. No, say the next time you can't push me. I say you don't see us now. I say, so it is as if there was one day I was forced to ask one of the bosses. I said, what is your obsession? Do you have anything against journalists? Now whenever you see us in any place, you are worried, you are scared. If you don't come, how will people know you've done this? The local government election that was conducted by the last administration, the Governor Baseki, we came here, except where the elected chairman came to collect their certificates of return. We came because I came late. The man said I must not enter. I said, why will I not enter? It says, I am late, yes, but allow me go in. I know how to get my story. He said, people that said, no, they are not my people. They are my colleagues. We don't work in the same organization. You know the next before you know, he said, bundle him out. Yeah, I was bundled out. It was my colleague in the hall that now told the SS chairman that our colleague is outside. before they say, okay, let him come in. When I go ask the man, I said, why would journalists always be seen as a threat? Have you done anything that is not supposed to be done here?
Exactly.
So we are always at the receiving end. We are always endangered. That challenge is always there, but it is one of the things we've decided to do. So exactly. You must be ready to take those things.
So yeah. Something we will.
Otherwise, you go and be
now, doing other journalist welfare as we round up. And then, what will be the way forward? How can the journalists be protected?
Don't just go there. Don't go there. Don't go there.
We will go there.
Don't touch it. You see, don't go there. It's unfortunate.
No, but these media organizations are making money. Are you saying they are not making enough money to pay their staff?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Because you just spoke about 68 something million just now.
No. We are just talking.
I know it's just sure.
Yes and no. These media houses are making money. For instance, some 10 years ago, how much were they buying a reel of newsprint?
Okay.
How much are you buying it now? So you need to balance that. Yes, I'm not saying the journalists, be it in print or electronic, are getting the best of remuneration they should get. But it is because even that industry itself is not regulated. It's not regulated. The question you should ask yourself is, Nigerian Union of Journalists, is it a union or a professional body? Because we are here and there. We are here and there. Because this is where the union. For instance, you the NLC will come to fight for civil servants.
Yes.
The what do you call it? Nigerian Union of Bankers and whatever will come to fight for those in the bank. No, Pengasa will fight for those in the oil industry. Who is fighting for the journalists? Meanwhile, we will be the one to report. No paying the crisis, Pengasa, this thing, ASU on strike and everything.
Yes.
Who is now fighting for the journalists? NUJ should take up that matter. Until you have a union that you can run into, that can also stand and say this, go and check it. Virtually all reporters across board, all newspapers are freelancers. And the international, yes,
and
the international labor organizations is against casualization.
Yes.
Nigerian labor law is against casualization. We are the one reporting the laws and the rest. That we are the casualties of the same.
Yeah, I in addition to what you say, I think NUJ needs to go back to the drawing board and look at what they need to do. Because apart from NUJ, virtually every other union or association related to the media are at the level of management and ownership. Nigerian Guild of Editors, Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, BON. So NUJ is just there. So but they need to sit up and say, this is what we want to do. Either we are insisting on fighting for the welfare of our members, while also insisting that you must be a professional. You can manage the two divides. It's manageable if you have the political will. But what we are lacking is we are all scared of, if I shout, I will lose my job. I'll give you an experience actually before when I joined the Guardian. After my first year, I went on leave. Coming back from leave, Guardian entered into crisis, and we're all sacked. Now, I was active in the union, but management said they want to pick who they should pick. My union chairman said, Aliu, don't take o. I said, Oga, I go take o. I am a bachelor, I am an orphan, I have younger ones, I just spent 1 year. If they come in now, I say, Oga, I'll go take o. Because I was scared of my security. And actually, I was among the few that was caught back. The man now told me, the chairman, I said, why? I said, Oga, if they sack you today, maximum 3 months you'll get another job. And it's true, today is one of the very senior staff in the aviation industry.
Okay.
So after when they called me, I didn't wait. I ran to go and collect my letter. So that was like, but because I wasn't sure the union would give me another job.
Exactly.
So that was why I said the NUJ need to sit up and then give us confidence that if I am a victim of my job, the union can take care of me. At that level, we can now push. We can push to see our leaders or employees and say, no, you must do this, you must do that. That's my contribution.
All right, thank you so much. It's been nice having you. And Bros, you've done a great job. Very
Thank
insightful.
you very much.
How did you bring him from the church with
No. This is why. No. That is why the Spirit of the Lord moves. And you know that since I came in, everything you see the calmness of the environment.
Yes, so very important. That's Mr. Sui, your daily Nigerian Tribune. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Bishop.
And Zoruba and Aliu.
Yes,
That's
Zoruba Aliu.
Zoruba
The prince from Igala.
That's the prince from Igala. Of
All the
course.
kukuruku laugh.
That's Manga. Thank you so much. All right, so that'll be it today, and we'll come your way again shortly. Stay with us. My name is BC Akwaida. Issues and tissue. If we can think it, we can discuss it.